What is going on, miners, and welcome back to the Hobbyist Miner channel. Well, today you're in for a treat. I have a special guest joining me here in just a minute to discuss how to take your GPU mining rig and swap it to go ahead and get paid out in Bitcoin. So I'm not super familiar with this process. I haven't actually used this process before, and if you guys are kind of guessing at it now, it's NiceHash. I've never really used NiceHash before, let alone mine to it with my GPU mining rig in HIVEOS, and that got paid out in Bitcoin. I currently don't own any Bitcoin right now, and I feel like I'm definitely behind the curve there. So I have a special guest joining me here in just a second. He's going to go ahead and go over kind of the nitty-gritty of what NiceHash is, how to go into HIVEOS and swap everything to mine to NiceHash, and then get paid out in Bitcoin. So we're actually going to mine Ergo, which is one of those coins out there right now, which is crazy popular. Last I looked, it was what, $18 right now. I mean, it's insane how well Ergo's been doing, but not a lot of exchanges carry it. So it makes me a little uncertain regarding, hey, do we want to go ahead and continue mining it, or do we want to mine it and then get paid out in Bitcoin? So let's go ahead and jump over to the computer, and we have a special guest joining us to talk about how to go ahead and mine Ergo and get paid out in Bitcoin. Alrighty guys, so now we are over on the computer, and as I mentioned before, we have a special guest joining me today, collaborating on this video. I'd like to welcome Red Fox Crypto. What's going on, man?
Yo, what's up? Thanks for having me.
So if you guys aren't familiar with him, I'll put a link down below. He is a veteran miner compared to me. All right, let's just put it out there, starting in February. Him and I have talked about NiceHash before in the past. We've talked about Ergo before in the past, and I was like, this is the perfect opportunity to bring him on. So thanks again, man, for joining me.
Yeah, absolutely.
So let's go ahead and take a look at the rig that we're going to be discussing and working with tonight. So I actually named this rig after an X-Men. That's what all mine are named after. And I had to look it up. I've never heard of this one before, called Tryout, which is a plant-based X-Men, which fits being in my grow tent. So I thought that was appropriate. So to give you guys a rundown, here's what we're looking at. We have 12 total RX cards. We have 11 470s. They're all 4 gig. That's my bread and butter. And we have one 570 4 gig here. They're all mining right now Ergo. So if we take a look on our flight sheet, we're mining to your traditional Urio address. You can see it right there. You want to send me some Ergo, feel free. And you can see there that we're mining to Nanopool, East and West Coast, which is built in with there. And then finally, we're using Team Red Miner. Nothing special, nothing crazy. So you following along so far, Red Fox?
Yeah, I'm with you. I got it.
Awesome. Awesome. So my first thought for you guys is to go ahead and let's take a look at this rig from a high level. We'll throw some estimates. It looks like it's doing 777 right now, so we'll use that. So if we jump over to what to mine here, guys, and we go to and you put this in here, we'll just pick 11 here and 1 here. We hit calculate, and then we'll update this. So this says we should be doing about 622 hash rate on Auto Lycos, but let's update that to what we're at, which is 777. We'll leave everything else the same. We won't get too technical into it. But what this will show us is that right now on Ergo, which is what we're doing now, with electricity included, we're traditionally $22.57. Take out our $3.48 per day. We're just shy of $20 a day, $19.09. Now, why I invited Red Fox on the video today is there's this other thing, this other Auto Lycos algorithm called NiceHash Auto Lycos. And Mike, do you want to just kind of explain like what is that? How is that different from traditional Ergo?
Yeah, sure. So NiceHash, in its simplest form, is a brokerage service where you can buy and sell hash rate. So in this case, when you're looking on what to mine, essentially, if you wanted to sell your hash rate to the NiceHash platform using the Auto Lycos algorithm, this is what, on average, as of right now, NiceHash would pay you out in profit And we'll talk more about that, I think, in a little bit, but it'll be in Bitcoin. So when you look here, you're seeing if I want to get Ergo, I can get $18.04 in profit.
Yep.
But maybe I want to get paid out in Bitcoin at the NiceHash platform, and that will pay out $15.74 in profit.
So the reason there's a difference in those profits is because it's almost like NiceHash's fee. Is that correct?
Yeah, it's a really good question. And really what it comes down to is the demand for people that want to buy that hash power to mine Autolycos with Ergo. And there will be times that you see even the demand higher. And in the past, we've even seen NiceHash come up on top of the coin that it's representing. And it's just all based on demand on the NiceHash platform. So that's why it can fluctuate quite a bit.
Okay. Okay, great. Awesome information. So what we're going to do today, guys, is we're going to take my rig, my Tryout rig, this 12 RX rig, and we're going to swap it. So right now we're looking at the flight sheet. You guys can see here that we're set to Ergo. So starting out, Red Fox, how would we go about doing this? Where do we start to go ahead and take it from, hey, I'm mining to my Ergo wallet, to, hey, I'm mining to NiceHash?
The first thing, the thing you need to do is you need to get the stratum for like the pool. Essentially, you would normally put in your pool address like you have Nano Pool here.
Yep.
But you're going to need to find the pool address to mine Ergo on NiceHash.
Okay.
And so NiceHash has a stratum generator. And the website for it is nicehash.com/stratum-generator.
Okay. Stratum generator.
Yeah, you got it.
Awesome. Oh,
nailed it.
Okay. Now, a question there is, do you need that if you come in here and it has it automatically listed within HIVEOS?
Good question. What can you see any more info on that? I guess it would be the same. But
yeah, it brings them up right there. Okay, perfect.
Yeah, so if you're in Hive, you can looks like it has it built in. You can use this.
Perfect.
If you're using Windows with like T-Rex miner or any other miner, you can come to this website and generate the stratum for you.
Got it. Okay, cool. It's kind of nice they have that built in. So I added my NiceHash wallet already. I kind of played around with this a little bit just to make sure I understood correctly. Now, that wallet address, where you get that from, where I went, and let's make sure it's actually the right place and I'm using the right wallet, is when I came into here, I think I went to mining, yes, and used mining address. Is that the correct one to use to mine to?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, perfect. So that's where I grabbed my mining address. Right there is nice and available. Feel free to send me some goodies. So, okay, great. So, so what we did was, all we did under the coin, guys, is it actually has its own coin. So as Ergo is listed, so is NiceHash Autolycos, just like we saw on What to Mine. So I swapped that over. I set our wallet address, and under the pool, I just selected NiceHash, and I went ahead and selected the ones that were appropriate for me. Now it looks like we can use any miner, so I'll stick with the Team Red miner, which is good there. Anything else you can think about that we need to change within HIVEOS before we update our flight sheet?
No, I think you're good. I think you're ready to go because you already had your overclocks and everything set since you were mining Ergo before. Okay,
perfect. So I'll apply that there. And then while that's applying and swapping that out appropriately, let's go over here to NiceHash. And, as somebody new who's coming right into this, we got this dashboard here. It's telling us we don't have any rigs yet, which, it should show us ours coming up here in the future. What are some key areas of NiceHash right now that as a new NiceHash miner we should pay attention to?
Honestly, it depends really how you want to use NiceHash, because they have a marketplace. You can do some exchanging on here. But I'll tell you, traditionally, the way that I've always used it as a way to just get Bitcoin as a miner, the easiest way to get Bitcoin, because and I know, unless you have a Bitcoin ASIC, you're not mining Bitcoin directly.
Yep.
And so for me, NiceHash, the platform, has always been a way for me when I want to generate Bitcoin with my mining rigs, I can use this. And so what will happen here is this rig will be supporting the Autolycos algorithm on NiceHash, but NiceHash will automatically pay you in Bitcoin for that hash power.
Okay.
And you see your rig already came up here.
Yeah, I see that there. So that's kind of nice. So it shows us our rig instantly, which is good. If we jump back, Let's just refresh, see what we got here. Okay, so yeah, it looks like it's coming up, just like the hash rate starts to kind of build up there, which is great. And it looks like, yeah, business as usual, which is awesome from the HIVEOS side. So on the NiceHash side here, we have a rig up and running. I assume it'll take some time to start to actually build some stats and such in here. You know, it's showing me right now only at $3 a day, but I imagine that will update as the stats come in. It looks like we can go to the rig manager here. Okay, so this is going to start to give us some more information, which is, I think, is pretty slick and will give us some time overall. So oh, look at that. It even shows us our payout on the side. So tell me how exactly this payout works here. It's got like a countdown timer going on.
Yeah, so here's one thing I would highly recommend. Okay. And this is true with NiceHash and mining pools, is for record keeping, you want to make sure that your payout out of NiceHash is at some level, some threshold that you're happy with.
Okay.
And that way, for just record keeping and, you know, yep, for us in the US, taxes and stuff, you don't want 1,000 payouts, but yeah, I mean, that's a whole nother discussion. But yeah, what will happen here is NiceHash will continue to update and show you more true to what to mine says is what your actual profitability will be for this rig. Mm-hmm. And that will fluctuate, like I said, over time based on demand. Mm-hmm. Sometimes you get wild swings, you're making a ton of money, and other times it'll be under than mining the coin itself, like we saw.
Yeah, look at that, up to $6 now. Nice, so it is changing. Yeah.
But like the best thing here is, you know, I keep, when I use my NiceHash, I keep it as simple as possible. I just let it accumulate the Bitcoin, and then I pay it out to Coinbase because there's free payouts to Coinbase for me. So I let it sit there as long as I'm comfortable. I don't have any automatic payouts to anywhere happening. And then I decide when I want to get that out for free to my Coinbase account, and then do whatever, you know, I'd like to do with it from there.
So is this a true Bitcoin wallet then within NiceHash, or is this just like their hybrid? Like you can't use this to send or receive Bitcoin?
You can send, but there's that old saying, right? Not your keys, not your crypto. And yep, so listen, NiceHash has been hacked in the past. It's a reality. That's why a lot of people love or hate NiceHash. Mm-hmm. They made up for it in the long run, and they paid back all of that Bitcoin that got hacked. So, but yeah, so it's their, right? They own this Bitcoin, essentially. You don't have the private keys to it. So just like keeping stuff on pools and all that, it's great to have some kind of strategy of when you want to get that Bitcoin actually out to somewhere where you do own the private keys for.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest with you, their UI is awesome. Like this looks phenomenal, being able to see this easily and quickly. So you had talked about having a lot of payouts. So even though it has a countdown timer, next payout in 2 hours, that's not a transaction I need to worry about when it comes to like taxes and stuff like that. I need to be more concerned about when I'm comfortable taking from my BTC wallet balance and transferring that to a true exchange. That's what we, you know, how often, not be doing that every 2 hours, more doing that, you know, once a week or once a month or something like that.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And I know taxes is like a subject we don't like to get too much into since we're not tax professionals, but you know, the one thing we can talk about here is you have to stay consistent with how you report all your transactions as far as, you know, the government is concerned. So I think, in my opinion, my humble opinion, the smartest way to approach this is, if you are tracking all of this stuff, it is, like you said, when you decide to get that Bitcoin that NiceHash is holding for you paid out to somewhere else, to a wallet you own, an account you own, that would be your taxable transaction. And keeping that consistency would make you feel a lot better and not insane. Because imagine looking at your recent activity here. Imagine you had to track all of those really small Bitcoin payouts.
Oh my gosh.
That would be wild. So yeah, letting those kind of dump into your total assets, and then you deciding when you want to get that bulk payout based on your own strategy, I think is the best way to go.
Okay, cool. So you know, NiceHash at layman's terms is a nice middleman. They're going to take your Ergo, which Ergo is so new. You know, we really don't know where Ergo is going to end up. You know, it might be a little more difficult right now to sell your Ergo. You know, there's very few wallets out there. So we're kind of skipping a bunch of steps, and there are brokerage. So they're just kind of the middleman. between the mining and the end wallet. And the nice thing is it turns it into Bitcoin, which is, I think, awesome. So as we've been sitting here, you know, this number has changed a lot. And based off of what I've looked into, you know, this number changes not necessarily only because your hash rate fluctuates, which ours does, you know, that's traditional fluctuations. And Ergo, I would say, is one that fluctuates a lot. You know, for me, it fluctuates, I'd say, about 10 mega hash at any given time. But this is also updating based off of the current price of Bitcoin. That is always updating and always changing. Is that accurate?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and just the demand on the just on the NiceHash platform. Yeah.
So I guess from here, so let's say I've been doing this for a month and I'm like, okay, I want to take Red Fox's advice. I want to transfer this off of NiceHash. Would people start at the wallet level, or where do they start at to then kick off that kind of transfer?
That's a great question, because I haven't taken my Bitcoin out of NiceHash because I'm terrible. I follow my own advice in probably a year and a half.
Listen to this guy. Okay.
But yeah, click on wallets,
right here.
BTC wallet, and then there's a withdrawal option. And then it'll give you should be able to click that. It'll give you options for where you want to withdraw it to.
Yeah. There's Coinbase right there.
Yeah, and that's the one thing I've always used because it's free. They have some partnership where you're not paying transaction fees or anything. So that's been smooth and instant in my experience.
Great. So it sounds like, you and I, if you guys haven't checked out, I've done an entire lengthy video, over an hour video with Red Fox Crypto, Meet the Miner, and we talked a lot about mining strategy. Him and I are on opposite sides of that plane. There's nothing wrong with either of them, but his strategy that he does sell some of the crypto that he mines weekly or monthly. And so,
you are correct.
And so this is a great avenue to go to turn this into fiat so that you can use it for electricity or to buy your next GPU, or unfortunately, I hate to say it, pay your bills. Like if that's the strategy you're going with, this is a great avenue to go. So outside of that, is there anything else within NiceHash? I mean, look at that. Now we're up to $19.40. So talk about fluctuations. Is there anything else from the NiceHash side that you would recommend to our audience check out before we go?
I think the only other thing is a piece of advice I heard probably 3 years ago. And I don't know if we've hit this space yet.
Okay.
In your time in mining, but there's a saying that when altcoins rip, then mine NiceHash. Because why that's a great strategy, in my opinion, not financial advice, is that when Bitcoin dominance comes low and the price of Bitcoin maybe settles out, but you see a coin like Ergo really take off, if you mine that on NiceHash, you're going to get more Bitcoin for your hash power. So I think that's one strategy I always think about, is when altcoins really take off and Bitcoin kind of stays dominant or even dips a little bit, that's your opportunity to really get a lot of Bitcoin for your hash power. And, let's be honest here, Bitcoin's number one, right? It's number one for a reason.
Bitcoin's king. Yep.
So thinking about that, sometimes you can get a little stuck as a miner because you can't mine it, right? You can't put your GPU and actually support the Bitcoin network.
Correct.
And whether you love or hate NiceHash, this is a fantastic way to take advantage of strategies like that. And it's a fantastic easy way for you, me, and everybody else to get some number one, the king Bitcoin, in our wallets with our GPUs. This
is something that I've wanted to do since you and I did the Meet the Miner series, and you had talked about some of the strategy behind it. And it was always just like, man, like, why aren't I mining Bitcoin? And my first thoughts was like, oh, well, I can't afford an ASIC. Like, that's why I'm not. And it's like, well, here's that alternative. And the nice thing is you really have a lot of possibilities, especially for, as we're using today, we're using 4 gig cards. Like, you're using 4 gig cards to mine an alternative altcoin to be paid out in Bitcoin. So like, it gives us a shortcut avenue to get to where we want to be. Which is, I think, awesome. Well, guys, before we go, I want to recommend that you guys do go out and check out Red Fox Crypto's YouTube channel. He comes out with phenomenal content every week, so please go ahead and check that out. I'll put a link directly below. Thank you, Red Fox, for joining us today. I do appreciate it.
Yeah, man. Thanks for having me, Hobbyist. Happy to always hang around with you, man. You're the man.
Thank you. I appreciate it. If you guys enjoyed this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe. Take care.
Bye-bye.